Do you want to dance, baby?
Baddest up track.
Do you want to pick it up?
Pick what up? Oh, weapon of choice.
We've got our first bit of podcast memorabilia. Podcast has gone past 100 individual downloads. Well, before we could for it, I'll give it a raise.
Give it a raise.
Raise the bat.
Raise it.
There's a ton. So you can, I reckon you can sit on the table for today.
Yeah.
We'll whip it out every time we go a milestone.
So, like, once we start crawling as a podcast,
We're crawling now, but
next is the teeth.
I tell you what, I don't know his family history, but I reckon at some point Usain Bolt was crawling.
It has to, you got to crawl.
He didn't sprint to start with.
No, not all of us coming out.
So much like the great man, I think we'll crawl now, and then one day
we might run the 100
sub 10s.
Yeah,
sub 10s.
9.59.
First time I've gone under sub 12, I reckon.
I'll back you in. I reckon you can gain a bit of momentum.
What I was doing back at my best? Do you reckon I would have got sub 12?
What do you mean back at your best? I think you still got the best ahead of you.
Oh, gee, I think
they say 28 is the peak.
You had a big night last night. I'm wondering if you're still drunk.
Oh, a little bit. It's just a wee bit, mate. Oh, but no, surely you can get the legs going for at least a sub 14.
Sub 14. Tell you what, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to promise a damn thing, but
no.
But if it ever happens, we'll remember that number 14.
Sub 14. I reckon you can get the frame moving that quick. It's a good thing.
If I get this frame moving that quick, we might have to look at coming back to playing again.
Like I said, Joey Jones always says peak performance age is 28 onwards. The game slows down.
Joey Jones didn't have 2 knee recos.
Yeah, we did, but also had a dud neck too. So I don't think before we made the quote.
So the first Rico I had was just me stepping over my body and the whole knee gave weight under my own weight.
Well, mate, they're all non-contact injuries.
The doctor asked me how many blokes tackled me. He was guessing about 300 kilos.
No,
no, mate, just myself.
I was just trying to support the frame.
You reckon you got some news for me, bud?
I do. So, welcome to episode 3 of the Doghouse.
Still here.
Back. Still here. 3 weeks running. So, I didn't expect to get this far, but we are. Look at us now. So, bit of a topic. A few topics come up. I was searching during the week of work. Just I thought you'd like to hear some. Get your thoughts on. So, first thing that come up in the newsfeed was Coville Cricket Club facing folding due to balls in backyard complaints. So, little club. So, we're talking just great cricketers. Playing for a bit of pastime, enjoying each other's company.
So I'm guessing they've got a local field in suburbia.
Yeah. So I've done a bit of a deep dive. So it's over in England.
Just to cut you, he's not going to stop, bud. If you give him attention, If you just leave him alone for a minute, he'll go away. But if you pat him, you're there for the whole day. Yeah.
Well, so a little cricket club over in England. So they're facing a folding. So I've done bit of research. So the club was established in 1905, and the ground they've been playing at and training at has been their home ground for almost over 100 years.
100 years.
Over 100
so
years.
Historic club, not just some fresh boys.
1905. So it's been there for a long time, and now there's been a bit of a property boom, and there's been estates go up around it. Like the
suburbia.
Yeah. Houses always go up. Can't go broke on houses, they say. So property wins, but there's been in the last 2 years, there's been so many complaints for balls either breaking windows, landing in the garden. Like I think, there was a neighbour to the ground. She's been living there for 30 years. The only complaint she's had in the 30 years was a ball last year was hit and damaged a tile, water damage. She didn't know until the leaks in the house. But besides that, everything's been sweet. But they're looking at folding, and the club's taking a back step. So they allowed the seniors to still play there last year, but if you hit a 6, you're out. Like proper 6.
Oh,
so
backyard cricket.
Yeah, backyard cricket. So if you hit a 6, gone. You're disqualified from the match. They'll add the 6 runs, but then you're out. Then
They're enforcing that on visiting teams as well.
Yeah, on visiting teams as well.
Yeah, right.
So the club with so much history, it's just been on a steady decline, and they're looking at folding. And due to complaints from people that live in close by, they brought houses next to a cricket ground, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So like this sort of opens up.
It's like the people that complain on the highway. The highway was there well before you built your house.
Exactly. So like I just want to touch on everyone's sort of moving into that nanny state complaining culture, like
Cancel culture. Yeah.
cancel culture, complaining culture.
I'll tell you what, suburban cricket will not be cancelled.
No, it shouldn't be. And like obviously, like if you do buy a house, like especially like if you're buying it near the airport or the train tracks, like it's pretty much doing the same thing. Like you complain about the noise, but you know full well
Yeah.
when you buy the house, it's
Yeah.
there, you know?
There'd be some oblivious people, but like it just is what it is, I think. It's
Well, it's part of it. It's
Yeah.
part of, like, it comes as a package. Like you buy the house there. It'd be like buying a house.
I don't think you can cancel it. I'm off it. You've upset me.
Oh,
Start the petition here.
I know, like it's like buying a house at Lake Albert out here, and you don't like people walking past your house.
Yeah, well, that's it's why I wouldn't buy one of those waterfront ones, because it's your house, then the path, then the lake. It's like, bud, you better have some tinted windows because a lot of people are going to be looking in.
Especially if you got like big wide window fronts. There's a couple of nice houses.
Oh, love.
A lot of
We'll never afford them. Don't worry about it.
But they look nice.
They look lovely.
So yeah, it's just a bit of a pity that this cricket club's facing folding due to people complaining about balls in the backyard.
I'd say they could find a new home, but after 100 years, you don't want to.
No, and that was the pushback. So the club captain now has got his petition out to try to save the club, and they're looking. And I think English Cricket Board, so like Australian Cricket Board, English Cricket Board, ECB, they were looking at trying to build nets around and donate heaps.
Yeah.
But ever since push come to shove, they're not returning emails. So
I'd be big bill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like yeah, at least. And for local cricket, that's a lot of coin.
Because the club was looking at making a deposit, but
nah.
Anyway, we move on. So next thing I want to discuss was, so I think we're shooting on the last day of the last test of the summer. I wanted to get your thoughts on. So if you were Paddy Cummins.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset. Yeah, I'm upset.
So no, if you were Paddy Cummins, do you make the same call, like declaring on your opening batsman on 195 has never made a double ton?
Oh, I think they declared a day late. But it
was rain affected.
Yeah, it was rain affected, but you just got to hope. You can't control that, so you got to hope for the best and be aware of the worst, or whatever the saying is.
But like, I look back at that test match now, like I think.
So you're more worried about Uzi not getting his 200. Yeah, I'm more. We didn't push hard enough for a win.
You reckon?
And yeah, ultimately, we wouldn't have got the win anyway because it rained.
Yep.
But I feel like batting day 3 really, like that's where you saw, and I don't know cricket that well, but I know bettors do, and all the betting companies, the percentages went way out for the draw.
Yeah, big time. Well, as soon as I think it was like a day and a half that was rained out, the full day was rained out.
You just can't waste that much time.
No, well, you can't help it.
But I just mean batting for 3 days.
Even at the end of day 3, like there was, I think it was like a couple of overs left in the day. And the umpires called like a random drinks break, which took about 20 minutes to sort of discuss the light conditions. And in that 20 minutes, it started to rain, so they pulled the boys off.
Yeah.
But that's what pissed me off. Like that's 3 to 4 overs. They
yeah.
Ripped them of that opportunity, and as the days played, it rained the full next day, rained half the day. Then it takes a while to assess the conditions of the pitch as well as the outfield. At that time, they had to make the call or declare it. So
they put out this weird. I don't know who put it up. This weird stat. Don't know who put it up. Might have been KO or Cricket Australia or someone. But like of all your test match grounds, so your capital cities, Sydney's rain out percentage flogs everyone else. It's not in the ballpark.
Ridiculous. But I don't know.
They've had like more rained out days than Perth has had test days.
There you go. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But you can't help that. That's
you can't help that, and that is what it is. But I just feel sometimes Cricket Australia plays too conservatively for the draw rather than pushing for the win and risking a loss.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'd like to see angry cricket, but
Well, that's what Paddy done. Well, you had to make that call. Like, sorry, mate. You know, a couple of overs.
But
2 days.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think there is a decision. I think it should have been halfway through the day before.
So yeah, cutthroat decision. So like, I'll commend him on it. Like he's going for the win because I think when he first took over the captaincy, he got done in the World Test match, the World Series Test match.
Yeah,
where he done a similar decision, I think, where he let someone bat a bit too long to get a milestone, and it cost them a draw, and they bumped. I think it's only the top 2 out of the 10 countries that play cricket. They held a third based on points because it's based on wins, draws, losses.
Yeah, it was a weird thing where we were coming into our form and we probably could have done better, but it's just
we
wins, draws, losses.
Yep.
No one's ahead of the team.
Yeah, which is hard with cricket. Like when you look at the whole game, it's a team sport based on individual performances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could argue that for a lot of sports.
Yeah, but like collectively, like you look at rugby league,
you're on your own. No, I get what you're saying. You're out there on your own.
You're out there on your own. No one's going to swing the bat for you.
Even the bloke running with you can't help you on that ball.
No, exactly. But with rugby league, someone can be like, "Oh, mate, get off the line."
You can hide people.
Yeah,
there's no hiding in cricket.
If I turn in, then someone can make a cover tackle for me. So like, there's that opportunity in those team sports. But I feel like it's a very individual sport in a team scenario.
Good point. Great. It's something I actually really thought about. It's just a collection of individual efforts.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Same like bat and ball.
Even in the field, it's really like you're really on your own once it comes to you. You get the odd one, you get a lot of BBL where they're saving a boundary and tossing it to a mate. Yeah. But that's about as teammatey as cricket gets.
Yeah. Especially for you, mate, in the field, like going to the final.
I'm on my own.
Yeah, the electric fielder, the ball magnet over here, drop a few catches and just comes to him all day.
Yeah, well, it's almost like they pick me out.
You
can't blame it. It's smart tactics.
Smart.
I don't know if you remember when Ori broke his nose. Well, that was me from meat pies down, and I've never been hit so hard. Like he hit it it was going for a 6. But it would have never gone more than 2 meters in the air. I've never seen a ball hit that hard. And then, Ori's on the boundary, tried to catch it and just gone straight through his hands and busted up his nose.
Funny. And speaking of cricket too, the BBL chat I've got written down here.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a chat. Have you seen the Nessa catch?
No.
So he's playing for the Heat. So there's no rules. I think back to the old rule book. The game's sort of evolving past the rule book with the BBL because fielding's that spectacular now. Like it's gone from overthrow cities and not too important part of it. Now it's an integral part of the game. You're saving runs.
Yeah.
So Nessa's fielding on the boundary. Michael Nessa, old mate sort of slogged it. Deep cover, long off.
Yeah.
So he's running towards the boundary. So it was only a couple of meters. He's taken the catch. And he's going over the boundary. So you know how they sort of chuck it up, go back in.
Yeah, you got to stay within bounds.
But it was that close. Like he's gone over, caught it. All he done was he threw it up. So he's outside the field of play.
Yeah.
Then just as the ball's coming back down, he's jumped up, threw the ball back into the field, feet back on the ground outside of the boundary, he jumps back into the boundary, catches the ball again. Yeah,
so he's done it, which I think it adds to the theatre of the sport that you can do it. But when you look at any other sport, he would be counted as out because he's left the ground from out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they said since he didn't have contact with the hand on the ground.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you leave.
Play.
So long as you're not out, it doesn't matter where you left from.
Yeah. So,
which I don't know. I think so long as it adds to the theatre of the game, and that's all BBL is. It's just a spectator sport.
Yep.
So fucking play on.
What, you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, if you've done that in rugby league, so
you're out. Yeah. So pretty much, it's pretty much all sports. Even NFL, you can't run out and run back in for a catch.
Right.
Union's much the same. You have to replant yourself in the field of play before you can play the ball.
But it's just weird. And they had to give it out via because there's no rules against it. They haven't updated it. So I think there's been a talk about changing that. Like if you're making contact with the ball with your feet placed on the outside of the boundary, I think it's 6.
Nah, stuff it.
Stuff it, you reckon?
Theatre of the game.
Theatre of the game.
It's not like you're going to put someone in the grandstand. You've only got 10 fielders.
Yeah.
Oh, well, 9 if you don't count the keeper.
Keeper bowler.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. So I thought, would you have any thoughts?
Well, there's me forwards. Keep it. Love it.
Keep it.
Love it.
Right. What about man captain?
I'm so divided. I'm so
old Zamps for like got called out doing the man captain.
and ever so I watched the Melbourne Derby last night. He might have put a bit of money on a few of his contracts because geez, the camera's just sitting on him.
Yep.
You'll get some media deals or something because that's all the stars are now. Zampa and Mancutter.
Yeah, Zampa the Mancutter. He's in the same class as Robbie Ashford.
I like how they've gone with that you can't be in a bowling action.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. You just have to just come up to your crease
and it's a thing that like it's got so much hate and disrespect to it, but it's on the batsman staying in fucking crease.
That's my thought. It's like against the spirit of the game.
And if you're out of your crease before there's a bowling action, then you're out of your crease.
Especially in the BBL too, especially like if you're like 6 or 7 wickets down, you've got a tail ender in, you're chasing runs, and your genuine batsman's up the other end.
Oh, you're trying to cheat that single. So yeah.
They're fucking taking the piss.
Yeah.
I reckon. Like,
yeah.
If you look at who recently done it, I think it was one of the test matches. Mitchy Stark warned him. He didn't mean cat, he just gave him the old.
Yeah, I actually did see that. It was good, yeah.
But he was halfway down the fucking pitch in the test match.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking the piss. Like I get it against the spirit of the game. It's a rule that no one does now, but it's doing a bit of a 180.
It's so contextual too. Like if you're one for fucking 200 and you just can't get these 2 good batsmen out, then yeah, it is a bit of piss weak shit. But yeah, if it's like at the end of the game and they're trying to not even really steal a run, but just get their batsman back on the face, then yeah, like they're taking the piss as much as you are. So stuff it.
I'm all for it.
I'm for it. I think there'll be situations where it's like, oh, that's a bit harsh, but yeah, I'm for it. It's just stay in your crease.
I'm all for the man cat. I hate to say it, I don't care. There's probably a backlash from a lot of genuine cricket
from people that know a lot more than us.
I'm all for it, especially in the shorter versions of the game. In that scenario as well, where the genuine batsman who's on like 40 to 60 runs wants to get on strike.
Yeah.
Tail ender.
Yeah.
Like cricket's one of those sports where all the advantage seems to be on the batsman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no care or take to the bowlers.
No.
But that's 50% of the other side of the game, it's the other side of the coin.
Yeah, it's offense, defense, yeah.
Yeah. So that's just my thoughts.
Do we want to get into it? Or you got more? Sorry?
You got a couple more.
Jeez,
I want to get your thoughts on Selwyn Cobbo.
You can't do it. You can't. You could be your new coach could be the fry cook at Macca's. You can't do what he did.
No, because that's the same thing I said too.
For anyone who doesn't know, he's basically come out and gone. What's the bloke's name? Kevy Walters. Who I actually reckon his son cops a bit of flack. I reckon his son's a decent little hooker. Yeah, he plays tough. You got to say he gives it his all.
Yeah.
He's come out. I couldn't give you the quote for quote, but he's basically said Walters is a good bloke, but not a great coach, and does some weird stuff. And if anything, that's probably sugarcoating it. It was probably a bit harsher than that.
Yeah, we're paraphrasing.
But you can't come out and coach. You're burning your team.
Yeah, it's because, and like if you look at the timeline of it too, remember old Tyson Gamble?
Yeah.
Now Newcastle Knight.
Yeah.
So the old media's been sitting on this for months. So Tyson Gamble, I think it was October, November last year, come out and said the same thing on a podcast. Oh, not the same thing, similar thing. So he was asked, it's like, oh, how's your relationship with Kevy? He's a good coach. And he's like, well, I don't really have much to do with Kevy. I learned a lot from Adam Ren Diggity.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of my football knowledge with him. It's his team, so I always ask for pointers off him, not Kevin. So like, obviously,
when there's smoke, there's fire. That's not just him. That's the squad.
2 people, like 2 players in that top 30, has come out and said very similar things about his coaching style. But that's the thing, though. Like he's a coach. Like I don't see Wayne Bennett down there doing the X's and O's stuff. He's got supporting cast for that. That makes sense.
Well, I always was led to believe, but from various resources, that Kevy was an amazing assistant.
Yeah, well, the pressure's not on you. It's easy to be assistant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can be one of the boys, knock about lads, do a bit of training, throw the carrots out, or he's trained hard and pull up stumps early, but their jobs are not on the chopping block assistant.
To an extent, but yeah. Yeah.
But focus is always on captain, halfback, coach after it was.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's got to be.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, interesting though. So like, and
do you think it has any ramifications for his position this year?
I reckon there is. I've seen something they're sanctioning him as a club, and they're putting off contract talks on hold.
I look at if he can do not even great, but if he can do decent, he's fine. But if he does underperform, he's out. He's gone.
Well, he's got a mark on his back now.
Got a couple, really.
His name's earmarked, so if he's not performing, I reckon I'm doing prayer. I'm not going to run in the win this year.
Actually, I think we're 6 weeks out from round 1.
So exciting. So technically, it's
I'm excited and I support the Dragons.
Yeah. We'll see how you go if it's not March. When it phases into April, we'll do a bit of a sound check.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, interesting comments to come out and make it publicly, like, you know, especially on a platform where anyone can sort of listen.
And he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. Probably, I don't want to say premeditated, and he might have just felt a bit too free in the moment, but he knew what he said.
Oh, exactly. And like, no fears of that coming out type thing, you know, being put out.
I'll be honest. I wish someone would say something like that on our podcast. Instead of fucking viral.
Yeah, so if you're an NRL player and you got some, you know, real cheeky, smart remarks to make about your coach or some media, give us a shout out. We
will give you a platform.
And also just the NRL, I want to discuss the Super League's bringing out the green card.
Love it.
Love it?
Love it.
See, I initially...
Explain it, for I know what it is, most won't.
So, the Super League, so the England version of NRL are bringing out what we call a green card. So, players are staying down or, you know, require strapping that's going to hold up the game, they can activate a green card, pull them off for 2 minutes treatment, and get them back on for interchange. Initially, I thought that it was going to be unreal for the game because we get a lot of people trying to lie down with penalties. But I didn't read the fine print. I went back and had a look in the article. It's activated by trainers of the team. I thought initially it's a ref thing. Mate, you've been laying down the last couple of tackles, go off, get assessed, come back type thing. Or, you know, you've been clutching your cramp, especially in the dying minutes of the game, like you've been holding this calf thing for the last couple of tackles, go off, have a stretch, get a rub down. We're not stopping the game for you. That's initially the way I thought. The ref would be like, no, go get touched up, bring someone on for that 2 minutes or however long it takes to get strapped up type thing, then come back on. But when I read that the trainers,
it's going to be used tactically. Do you know if they have a limited number?
No, I think it's like HIA. It's another version of HIA. So you know.
Yeah, see, HIA, I'm fine with being unlimited because it's pushed by the ref. What I'm trying to get at here is if it's a limited number, then a team could, like, let's say you only get 2 to 3, a team can only use it so tactically.
Yeah.
But you can't if it's a limited number, you can't give it to the ref because it's like, it can be seen as unfair here and there.
Unlimited, I reckon, to the ref. But yeah, I think there's a number put on it. But then how do you judge what's a green card and what's not?
I also think 2 minutes is too quick. It's got to be 5.
Well,
if you're taking a player off, you can't play in 2 minutes.
I'll be watching it closely because I already know like you'd be the good coaches like your Robos, your Bellamy's, like your Bennett's, like your very good coaches like your Cleary, Ivan now. They'd be watching the Super League to see if it rolls out here just to see how teams
how to do it. Yeah, or if not, they'll put someone onto it. It seems every time the NRL does a rule change, the good coaches find a way to exploit it.
Big time. And like
more power to them.
So my example is like say it's about minute 35 anyway, just coming up the first half, and like you know how teams are very reliant on the ball playing lock at the moment.
Yeah.
So like I'm going to use the Roosters for an example. So say Victor comes off about the 28th, 30th minute. They have a spell. We don't usually put him on until like 5-10 after half time, so he can explode in the last half hour. So imagine if you get the feel for the game, we're building pressure, but you've only got like a Taumalo lock that's just barnstorming.
Yeah, you got someone in there just like filling up a third prop.
Like your Egan Butcher, your Siswa Takiyaros for the Chooks, for example, last year. So say we're a bit like there's 2 or 3 repeat sets. and it's coming up to half time, someone can just sort of, oh, I've got cramps. Yeah, shape's not looking good. We'll whack the green card out there, get Victor out so he can
freebie,
a free interchange, get him back out there with the 2-3 minutes to try score a try type thing. That's the way my head's thinking already.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be used that way, but at least we're not like what I still think it solves the problem. There's too much lying down and wasting time at the moment.
Yeah, well, I just think it's just rules, mate. Rules always.
Oh, we seem to.
Like, there's no way around it.
I think there's a comedian that said, no, it's not a comedian. It's an old Australian miner, like corporate, like a Gina Reinhardt.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm fine with all these new laws, but every time you make a law, you should have to take one out.
You reckon?
Yeah. Oh, it's what he says. Yeah. I don't believe in it. Yeah, it's an interesting idea that like every time, like
take that one.
there's just so, but like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to restrictions in any form, whether it's OH&S at work or whether it's laws or whether it's like what you can and can't do with taxes and stuff, they're saying there's always more, but there's never less.
Yeah.
We're only ever more restricted.
Yeah.
Probably a bit political for where we're at.
Yeah, don't get too political on the body.
No.
Not this early.
Not between us, anyway.
No. Our political views are very
different. How are we friends?
I don't know.
It's worked. So we'll run. Any news or
that's it, mate. That's just what I saw that popped up this week.
I'm glad something you wanted to bring something to the table. Something.
What do you mean?
More. You didn't let me finish because that did come out bad.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, like, I think I was rocking.
Glad you wanted to do fucking something for once.
Yeah, I'm just coming here.
No, what I meant was, I'm glad you've heard something through the week and thought, I'll bring that in.
I'll bring that for shit. You might like it.
I did like it.
I'm thinking about it until about Thursday, I reckon.
Because between me podcasts and me audio books, I don't hear much news.
Yeah, it's hard.
Out in the sticks.
No reception.
So we get into today's.
Yeah, get into it. You announce it.
We got we wanted to do top 5 movie quotes, and there was a bit of conjecture about how we do this, but I reckon they're got to be movie quotes you actually do use, not day to day, but just somewhat regularly. So we all like, and there's probably, so really you're going to movies where you got to have everyone knows them because you can't just throw a quote out and have crickets. You got to have at least a chuckle here and there.
Yeah, it has to be like a comedy movie.
Yeah.
That people actually watch, otherwise you're just saying nonsense.
Yeah.
A lot like this podcast. We just
there's movie quotes that I quote, no one knows what I'm talking about, but I laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the only thing that's important to me.
Well, this came over at the pub last night with the Kills the Job, so I'll quote random episodes of The Simpsons.
I'll do that. No, that's play on.
You reckon?
Up to season 12, and then you're a weirdo.
I couldn't even tell you what season or episode.
Can you give me a quote? And I
no, just went straight over your head.
This is Jolos.
Oh yeah, I think I'll talk about Homer and the dollar. I don't know what the quote is.
Homer and the dollar.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you.
I'll
get into him next time I see him.
Yeah. I'll ask about it.
Yeah, that's lovely. I love that. Grub does that a lot. He's he loves Lisa needs braces.
Oh, the only sort of thing I remember from The Simpsons is old Max Power. He's got to strap yourself in and feel the cheese.
Yeah.
That and Hank Scorpio. That's the only thing I can sort of remember.
Actually, it's on the Hammock Complex. See, they're good.
And was it? Good morning, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. Whatever it is.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Yeah, every time. That's all I remember from The Simpsons. And I watched it back when it was like 6 o'clock time slot.
And that's everyone in our generation. So you have to pull your quotes up at season 12.
Yeah, anything else that's fresh, I've got no idea.
Mm-hmm. Right. Anyway, top 5 movie quotes. I'll go from my 5 and we'll work our way up. And then we got a few honorable mentions each.
Oh, I only done 5. All
right. Well, I got a few honorables. Anyway, this one I use. So I find often I've worked on some pretty big farms, and you've got your head honchos, then you got your guys around my level, and then you got your just farmhands that are just there for a gig. They just want a day's pay, and then those blokes rarely freaking pay attention. So you have your morning, get around, and we'll decide what we're going to do for the day. And it generally goes for way too long. You're generally looking at a half an hour meeting just talking shit. Anyway, at the end of that, you generally get these young fellas going, wait, what am I doing? So So I hit him with the Shrek. I go, you're coming with me. Real low and seedy.
Oh,
You like it?
five.
That's me 5.
So this is a bit of a throwback to early 90s. We've got Friday by Chris Tucker and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Not the whole thing. I've just seen clips.
Also, like, especially growing up, like, with your cousins, and that's probably one of the movies we quote the most. But you ever heard people go, "Bye, Felicia"?
Bye, Felicia. Yeah.
So this is where the actual quote is from this movie.
I just thought it was like a TikTok shit or something.
No, the quote is from this movie. So Felicia's the what's the word for it? People that just want to borrow your stuff and get free stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So Craig and Smokey, that's the names of Ice Cube and Chris Tucker in the movie. They're out the front just chilling. You know, Smokey's on the joints. Felicia walks up. Hey, Smokey, can I borrow your car? It's like, no. Craig, can I borrow yours? No. You smoking? Can I have some? And they're just like, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
That's where the quote from. So I use that daily.
I think, I tell you what, of something people would use all the time, I reckon that would be pretty wide.
I know,
bye, Felicia.
But it's not like well known where it's coming from.
No, not at all. I haven't
People
seen the
say
movie.
it and don't know where the quote comes from. Bye, Felicia.
We're teaching people.
Yeah, there you go. So education is podcast.
I got Forrest Gump, classic. Run, Forrest, run. You see anyone chasing something, they're not going to get there, or just doing a little bit of work, or walking even. Run, Forrest, run.
You ever hear that joke? What's Forrest Gump's computer password? Login password?
No, what?
1 Forrest 1.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's probably how I sounded saying it anyway.
Anyway, so my number 4, this is quite fresh because we've experienced, like, we brought this up when we were on Warriors Bucks on the way in, especially first beer at the pub where we all got there for the Bucks party.
I'm so intrigued now.
So, how about that, right? I guess that's why they call it Sin City.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that now. We were like not even close to the city either. We were like halfway up the freeway, hours to go. And you moment of silence. The only moment of silence in trade. So how about that right in?
I guess that's why they call it Sin City. No, I wasn't. Everyone in this car right now has joined my book back. Just be the book back. But it also got especially like another one, like just to end conversations. They got the bye Felicia from Hangover 2, like, so long, you boys.
Yeah.
Two little motherfuckers.
Fuck, all 3 movies, like,
Pretty good.
they're copy and paste, but they're good and they're quotable.
It's like a Pokemon game, I was saying, it's just because of the
Fuck.
Doesn't matter if it's red, blue, crystal, emerald. The premises of the game is always the same.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste, different map, make it brighter, and change the animals.
Oh.
Change the Pokemon. And I'll tell you what's annoying. Traps me still to this day. If I buy a Pokemon game, I'm going to beat every gym leader and the elite football.
I'm not I haven't done all of them, but I'm probably at 50-50.
I'm going to catch a legendary and just go pound some 12-year-old just with a couple of Pidgeys. Just a random trainer battle, and I'm just got at this level 50 starter Pokemon.
Well, and that was how. So they seem to always, the new ones always come out with a bit of hate, and then a year or two later, everyone loves them. It's like you accept all of them.
Like, even been sucked in the old Brilliant Pearl. Pearl was released on Game
Yeah,
Boy.
I'm looking to get, because that's still, for us being nerds, we had that brand new. It's still nostalgic.
Very big time. I just want to play it again.
Yeah.
But shout out to Pokemon.
I think we're going to get off the fucking Pokemon chat.
But yeah, you're number 3?
I've gone my favourite movie of all time, The Water Boy.
I'm surprised not wearing a shirt.
I had it last week. Came out 2 weeks ago. Working on farms and shit, you see some pretty rank water, and I just that's high quality H2O.
That's good. Any other thing from the movie?
Oh yeah. If you ever talking just crap, it's just absolute bollocks. Mama said.
Mama said. Good movie. Water sucks.
Gatorade not only tastes better, it quenches your thirst better too.
My number 3, I'll go on Happy Gilmore.
How good's Adam Sandler?
Oh, such a cracking movie. But this quote doesn't come from Happy himself. So I'm a big fan of Ben Stiller's character in it.
Is Ben Stiller playing it?
He runs the nursing home.
Oh yeah, so good.
Especially with my 2 kids, I use this a couple of times a week during the bedtime routine. Especially if you get little Reggie, I don't want to go to bed. You will sleep. All right, put you to sleep.
I was only actually just because looking at some Ben Stiller's like done some more serious family films, and then he's just done weird stuff. Like I was watching Tropic Thunder yesterday.
Oh, shit, that's movie. Cracking film. You reckon that passes today if it was released?
No, and yeah, there's an interview where someone asked Robert Downey. Oh, Joe Rogan, I think, asked Robert Downey. Yeah, do you think you could release it? And Robert's like, you could do it, but
I'll tell you what's funny about that movie. I remember, I think someone of our family friends went overseas to Thailand and brought the knockoff version. You know, the old the pirated copies over in like.
Oh yeah, but still, I was thinking like
no,
a redone version. Like it's already rough enough.
The actual thing, you know, back when we put DVD,
yeah,
punch in the land area code.
Yeah,
it was one
Jesus Christ.
I
only remembering it now.
Yeah, so then you put it in the DVD, and I always missed the last 30 or 25 minutes because it just sort of cut off. It was that bad quality. Just finished the movie, so I never really finished the movie till recently.
Yeah,
and I never got the start. It was just like after credits, so it was just a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's only 3 to 4 years ago I realised Robert Downey Jr. was the African male.
Here's the other one I'll give you that I reckon.
Never realised it was him the whole time until I actually watched it on Netflix.
And once you really see it, you can see his face. Here's the one I reckon you won't pick. Who's the guy? I shouldn't blank on his name, but from Top Gun. Who am I thinking of?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Oh,
so he owns the like broadcasting company, and he does the so he's got the bald head with the sideburns.
Can't remember the name of him.
Yeah, I can't either. Les something. Yeah, something like that. And he's he does the whole well, Flaming Dragon, why don't you fuck your own face?
Oh, good character.
Yeah. Fuck, where are we up to now?
I think I've done my number 3.
Okay, my number 2. I've gone Mean Girls.
Oh, you know how I wanted to put it in there, and I was like, nah, I'm not quoting Mean Girls.
Nah,
but very quotable movie. Love that movie.
If I wouldn't know, but if you had some sort of algorithm to work out what movies you've watched the most, like how many times you repeated them, I reckon Mean Girls are about there for me.
Easy.
4 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
I more like when the speech is at the end. She doesn't even go here.
I don't hate you because you're fat. You're fat because I hate you.
Wait. You're from Africa?
Oh my God, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Yeah, very quite.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, anytime someone has a little win and like you can see they're happy with themselves, probably more than they should be. 4 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
Us today with the bat. Go, Glen Coco.
Go, oh yeah, 100. You go, Glen Coco.
Your number 2, I've rolled into The Longest Yard. There's a bit of a theme here. There's a couple of Sandler. Yeah. So Longest Yard is probably one of the most quoted too. Like it's just one of those quotable movies like Mean Girls. But me too. Oh, the one I got that I probably use all the time, especially in footy season, is he's so fast. He makes fast people look not fast.
Yeah. Is it Nugget? Is it they call him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The running back, he's so fast. Use it with the Fox. Use it with the Saab.
I reckon you'd be able to give it to me. The when he goes, I just got burgers. He gives that whole speech.
I got the sheets that'll make you quick.
Yeah.
I got the fries that'll crush your eyes. I got the burgers. I got burgers. Yeah, but there's so many little throw-off one-liners too that you can use. Like, I knew we should eat that popcorn. Like, I'm sure a little wrestling.
Or at the start of the movie when he gets arrested. Hey, Linda, I think we should start seeing other people.
Even the big great Carly. Oh, such and such is playing. Oh, the play.
I'm glad you're back. Now I don't have to stab you.
I just think you shit himself.
Oh man, that guy shit himself real bad.
Even at the end there, that's 2 weeks of the bus. Who gives a shit?
So good. And that might be an afternoon watch for me.
Yeah, you can go over and just watch it. Hey, buddy, he's back again.
I got mum and dad's dogs rolling around. He's a nice little boy. He's just a bit of an attention seeker.
Attention. Give him some attention. Anyway, what are we up to?
Number one. You did your two. Yeah, my number one. I've got an Australian classic, The Castle.
The Castle.
Tell him he's dreaming. Tell him. All you hear on farms is blokes talking shit. Yeah. Tell him he's dreaming.
Tell him he's dreaming. Good movie.
Great movie.
All the time he used to come up Friday Night Football.
Oh,
he's still up. Just reruns.
And I swear back in the day, like channels like 9 and 10, it must be like radio where they're only licensed to, like they must have the license already for those songs. So they must have the license already for these movies because they're playing them 10 times a year.
What else was the other one? They used to get runs after footy was the old One Jet Li. Remember that one?
Nah. One Jet Li. No.
Oh, good flick. So it's a time traveler one. It's like Jet Li fighting Jet Li. Like, bruh, mad. You like the Kung Fu like action movies. Pretty good.
I've been meaning to get back into the what's the Tucker and Bruce Lee ones? The Rush Hours.
Rush Hours.
I want to watch the Rush Hours again.
Yeah, really good. So
give me your number one, champ.
So I just can't go like it's hard to narrow down quotes from this movie. But it's just one of those other movies you can just rattle off lines. Like if you have a few beers, we can talk in these quotes, and still be fulfilled with our conversation. So, Step Brothers.
Oh, how good!
Cracking film, absolute good movie. But the ones I use is like, especially like coming home from a workout and like, why are you so sweaty? Watch a car.
I know. Clubs doesn't start till 4.
Then the other one I use too is like, especially if the missus like, nah, you can't go play golf today, or how about we do this first, we do that. This house is a fucking prison.
Yeah. On planet bullshit in the galaxy of this sucks donkey dick.
That's right. No TV for the week. Come on, Dad, it's fucking Shark Week. What is Shark Week?
The one I probably go to more when ever anyone's to call you dumb or something is, this is a house of learned doctors.
Was put up with it. Earlier, fucking the meantime.
You're not a doctor. You're a big fat curly headed fuck.
You don't say that.
Hey, you don't say that. Shut up! You wake my dad. Or
Buzzers all out. See this in Cynthia. Have a guess who's saying.
Oh, whose signature is it?
Randy Jackson from American Idol.
Yeah.
What? Well, I only had this on me in the shop, and it's not like I'm not going to get Randy Jackson.
Or if you ever clear out a space or clean something up, so much more room for activities.
Said I who wants 7? Said unfortunately. Sweating is horse shit.
I heard my son yell rape at the top of his lungs.
At one point, he looked at me and said, Leslie, I wasn't not a raper. I was about to fight.
I was totally about to fight. I'm so not a raper.
No, absolute good film. You could just throw off one line.
Like we just did. You can have a whole conversation. Actually, Sammy doesn't really like dumb
movies.
Dumb like Will Ferrell, especially Will Ferrell ones.
Yeah.
So she was away the other night, so I treated myself.
Yeah, you have to
put that straight on.
You have to.
That's why I watched Tropic Thunder yesterday. She's playing the Hands weekend.
Such a good movie. That
actually brings me into my honourable mentions. Obviously, I probably haven't used it since society's moved forward a bit more, but Tropic Thunder, I think you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I think
you just went full.
Yeah.
You never go full.
Yeah. I think,
I left that out.
Good
I left that out.
Yeah, an honourable mention too. It just comes out every pre-season. Remember the Titans? Oh, we need a drink break. Water is for the weak. Water is for washing blood off my uniform. And you don't get no blood on my uniform, boy. You must be outside your mind.
Actually, back to Step Brothers. It's in my honourable mentions. If anyone hurts himself, I always hit him with the, it's good for shoulder pain. If you lick my butthole. Why is the rum always gone?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. It's a cow farm. You gotta find cows outside. It's a Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah. tell you, Step Brothers is a cracking movie for quote.
Yeah, and that's one of the honorables. Fuck, there's so many.
And I like the Yankee Man one with was the Panther Piss Cologne.
Yeah.
60% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
I went and had a look at Ink and Man because it's got it like there's got to be stuff I'm saying. All their quotes are pretty long.
Yeah.
Like they're just rambles.
That was it. We're putting on that to try and pick up birds of about 60% of the time. It works 100% of the time.
it's so much dribble.
Yeah.
I love that. Like society's come so far forward, and you still just love a good dribble.
Yeah, gotta love it.
I love it.
But anyway, it leads us into your news.
Yeah. It felt like that. The quotes went really quick, but I think it's just more we're just enjoying it.
Yeah, I think
having
so.
a good laugh. We're already up to Shep's weird news. Actually, it's horrible for podcast content, but if you just Google undercover cops Hungry Jacks, you'll get a photo. I'm going to show it to Trey now. So recently in Darwin, undercover cops have executed a plainclothing arrest, and they've planned it out at a Hungry Jack's drive-through. There's a bloke in a Centrelink singlet. There's two blokes in high vis because they got to fit into the Hungry Jack's crowd.
Oh, so these are the coppers dressed up.
And these are undercover cops. You can see there in the photo. They've got shotguns.
Yeah.
Old mate's in a Centrelink singlet with a balaclava and a shotgun making an arrest. If it isn't for the one cop in actual police uniform, you'd think there's a robbery.
Yeah.
It looks so dodgy. They're jumping up on top of the car, shotguns in hands, singlets, tradie high vis. Geez, it's full on. I got a few things I want to bring up about it. So our mate was the two blokes they arrested have 30 plus charges against them, including aggravated assault, and it's believed they could have weapons. That's why they went for this style of arrest. It takes me to a flashback years ago when they arrested this old man and they dressed up as joggers on the beach. Do you remember that?
No.
It's just this old man. Anyone could arrest him. Like, you don't need to take it that far. And it's like, what are these boys thinking in the boardroom? They dressed up as joggers on the beach and tackle him just as he's going for a beach walk.
Wow.
But what do you think's going through? How do you plan this?
I don't know.
It's a drive-through, so you just got to be waiting there for a while. Like, these boys love their Hungry Jacks.
One thing is he need to finish his meal. You reckon he let him got his double whopper?
I don't reckon the meal got out the window.
Surely he'd make a deal like, I'll tell you what he was born, but let me finish with eating.
Let me finish. Imagine being, because there's teenagers on that drive-through window.
Yeah.
They've shit themselves.
Imagine that it's like afternoon shift. You know, this kid just knocked off school.
Here's your whopper, sir.
What's going on? Yeah, well, you wouldn't. It's not what you see every day, I suppose.
Just a blue ute with shotguns pointed into it.
Old mate on the bonnet too. Get out.
Yeah, they're full on. Yeah, I'd say that Land Cruiser that's put up to them that they're all standing on a bonnet. That must be some kind of cop car.
Have to be like,
yeah. Actually, yeah, because I've seen a video and then it's got those red and white lights, but like on the other side of the window, so you can't see them until they're on.
Surely it's not cleaned at the Hungry Jacks, but like he's just pulled in. They're like, we'll just get him like a car station. You know what I mean?
No, that's even weirder because that means they're just in Centrelink singlets and high vis.
That's what I was thinking. Like they just dressed up and they'll just tail him, wait till he pulls up and we'll just get him. But I'm guessing he's just swung in for a quick feed.
Nah.
Slushies with the bursties.
I go the other way. I reckon they've had like one or two guys tailing him for weeks and they're like, mate,
Hungry Jacks Thursdays, 1 o'clock.
Mate, Thursday mornings after this guy's lit it up on Wednesday nights, Hungry Jacks drive through, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Every day. You've got a loyalty card.
It's got all.
Can you punch this?
All he's saying is give me the usual.
No, that's good. That's good value.
Oh, I love it. It's so Australian to me. The Centrelink singlet with a shotgun in hand.
I think it's even more sus that he's just wearing the singlet, to be honest.
I feel like it also
have merch.
It's a great point.
You know
it's a wonderful point now that I think about it.
Like that just looks sus. Like Deb said, if I seen someone with that, you'd be like, "Oh, like that's weird."
A lot of Yeah, I don't know what to think about it now you brought that up. Suddenly got merged?
I don't think so. Like, where's the shit come from?
I want a settling singlet.
I want one.
And then I had a photo, but it's not, the news isn't as good as what it sounds, but it's a great story. Spelunkers in China.
So what's spelunking? Is that
Spelunking is
like
you don't, not necessarily diving, there doesn't
okay.
have to be water, but it's just going down into underground caves.
Right, yeah.
Spelunkers in China have found a hidden forest in a sinkhole. So like Earth disappears, you're in a cave, and then obviously there's a light source coming in from somewhere. It's growing this forest that no one's ever seen, like prehistoric plants.
There you go.
Where it hits, and it's not as cool as you get the photos. I was like, it's not what my imagination went to. But my imagination straight went to Ice Age: Dawn of the Dinosaur.
There you go.
With Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
He gets underground. It's like it's like a whole other world underground.
That's crazy. Like I don't know if you've watched King Kong vs Godzilla, but same thing there too.
Underground, another world. I'll have to hit it up. I know you've watched it with your kids.
Oh, Ricky
loves it.
King Kong Godzilla fight. Loves it.
Yes.
That's crazy,
but China's one of those places where the rainforest gets so dense. There's genuine parts of China no one's seen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's just like, and when you see the aerial shot, it just looks like rainforest. And sort of trees are covering this hole, but then they've gone down this hole, and there's like a whole forest down there.
Like another ecosystem. Like you said, prehistoric plants. Did you? Or is it all like similar rainforest?
Yeah. So they I think they already had like the like when you splice it, you can do not DNA, but like DNA of a plant.
Yeah.
So they already knew about them, but yeah, like they know how old they are.
There you go. That's crazy.
But to be a prehistoric plant, you have to be a prehistoric seed. So like, cool stuff. Yeah, I just thought when I first saw about it, I dived into it. I thought this is so cool, underwater world, and then it's like you just kind of see where the light's coming from, and it's just a little hidden spot.
Yeah,
but it's fun to imagine.
Yeah, it's fun to imagine. Imagine just like
Godzilla's real, bro.
Godzilla's real. Like
we just got to find the right sinkhole.
Right sinkhole. We'd be there with King Kong, just chilling.
Right, so I hope this goes as long as last week, because last week was so good. So on Trey's big question last week, we must have at least one or two listeners, because or at least 100, because because you were at the pub last night and you got hit up about your big question.
Yeah, the big shouts. So yeah, shout out to the boys last night. I'm having beers with the Joels, Big Ben, the Kill, Mr. Kill.
We might actually from future Mrs. Jolliffe, I might be able to give you a little surprise, but you'll have to wait for it.
Surprise?
Yeah, a little surprise coming for you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like surprises.
You'll like this one.
I like
funny
it.
As fuck. But anyway, go on.
So yeah, come up about the shouts and the contracts agreed. Like we're broken, so we had a fair few Northerns last night, and the contract had to be renewed because we're on the CCs. So
had to be okayed with Trey.
Had to be passed. So it's good table talk because we're not just all buying our own things. But then obviously the shout sort of slipped because then we're on some of the cruise and guavas. So
it always once you had a big night, so it always just
put it that way. And yeah. So we got one thing led to another, and all of a sudden we're at this house and drinking. I'm
just glad we're bringing public awareness to situations.
Exactly. So it was just good table talk. Before we all agreed that the Northerners just wanted to do it for us, then we made the collective call of the group.
If you're over beer,
I'm over beer.
Maybe
or Canadian club.
We're all over beer.
Canadian club base their ad or over beer.
That's such a good ad too.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to the boys. Enjoyable night. Very enjoyable night. So that sort of leads into the big question.
What's your big question, bud?
So similar to you with your little rainforest under the sinkhole, I fell into a massive rabbit hole.
So to cut you off, this is one part of the podcast. We plan to have it, but it's one part we don't communicate about. I have no idea of Trey's big question going in, other than he sent me a message this week, and I wouldn't have it on because the phone's recording. But I don't know where this is going, and you can get tinfoil hattie, and I'm worried it's a real big tinfoil hattie because you sent me I've been looking up this stuff about calendars, and it's got me not sleeping at night.
Spun me out. So hopefully you enjoy this yarn as much as I did. So I was just at the gym and it just come to me head like, I think it was Tuesday this week. I was sort of just doing my normal routine, and I was like, how the fuck do we know it's Tuesday?
Oh, fuck.
You know what I mean? Like, how do we know it's Tuesday? Like, did someone just go, rightio, we're making Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on and so forth. So today's Monday, and we've just been taking his word ever since. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just, yeah. I can completely understand what you're saying, but you're trying to, so it's a human idea versus a, like a scientific fact, and calendars are just a human idea.
Exactly.
So the whole thing with people worried like the Mayan calendar 2012. By the time that went off, like on our calendar, we were so far past the Mayan 2012.
There you go. So yeah, that's just my theory. It was just like, I don't know if today's even Sunday.
No, today's Sunday, but Sunday's an arbitrary idea.
You know, it's like man-made structure. Like today's Sunday, we don't work today type thing. But Monday to Friday, we're into it. But it's based off someone going, these are your days.
Have you looked into it, or are you just trying to give me the head spin?
I'm just giving you the head spin.
Who's the someone? Because it's a good point. Where's I think there's been different forms of a calendar. Yeah, and so this is the one that's meant to work the best.
So this is the deep dive I went into. So
good. So holy shit. You can't see it.
You can't see it. There's a lot of notes here.
I'm looking at a friggin' book.
So I wanted to make sure the facts are correct. So the longest pre-existing calendar was dated back 10,000 years ago in Scotland. Rightio. So
like the earliest calendar.
But it wasn't using days and times. It was a lunar solar calendar.
Yeah.
And they used the crest of the hill and they dug pits, and based on where the moon and the sun was in the crest of the hill and how many pits it casted shadows over, they could tell. You
said like Scotland did that?
Yeah, Scotland.
Yeah. So they'd have to plan for like winters coming, man. Yeah, so they'd need it.
Yeah. So that's why they're harvesting, making sure they have enough rations and wood and that. So that was good. So that's older than Stonehenge by about another 100 years to that man-made structure. Yeah, no one knows how the fuck they did that either. So that was determined, based on moon shape, size, and how bright and how many pits it was lighted. Then in 3,800 BC, the Babylonian calendar was founded. So it's the Middle East countries, though, so like Syria, the Iran, Iraq, Turkey. So they all use their own calendars as neighbouring countries. So it was based off what they were harvesting. So the coastal towns were based off fish. Their calendars, so they knew when to fish. Then inland was based off their harvest, so they knew when to harvest. So, but then back, what was it? Yeah, I think a couple of years after they all founded their own calendars, one fellow conquered the land, King Shulgi, conquered the whole land and just went, fuck it. Merged them all together.
Just make the best of it.
Yeah, merged all 4 or 5 calendars together. And here's where it gets trippy. So, in that calendar, so when he collated it all, it was 12 months every year, like 13 months every 4 years, 7 days a week, the 7-day leisure rest day, so no work. But yeah. Is
this AD or BC?
BC. But during the lunar cycle, so when new moon, they'd stretch out their months. So they couldn't tell you which month, but if the new moon come in, then a couple of their months during the 12-month year would stretch out to a 9-day week.
Yeah, so right.
I think it was 10 days, 7-day weeks, but then the last week or a couple of months would stretch out to 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So they just whack them on,
Yeah.
So it wasn't a stock standard calendar, but when it come up, they just whack a couple of extra days on. So imagine doing that, like, we're just going to hang on just for a bit.
Well, it's basically what we do with leap years. It's the whole idea of trying to catch the day. Because there's no thing that works perfectly.
No. So then the next calendar I looked up was the Egyptian calendar. So that was used as early as 3000 BC. So
5,000 years ago.
Yeah, 5,000 years ago. That was a yearly cycle based on the flooding of the Nile. So that's the way they used to track it. So they had 3 seasons during that year for 365 days. I couldn't tell you how many months. So I think they were split up into 3 chunks.
Probably equals. 4 months each.
Yeah, for 360. And then the Roman calendar. So that was based off, both the sun and the moon. So that went for 10 months with 30 or 31 days in the calendar year.
Yeah, right. So they kind of a bit short.
So they cut it a bit short. But then the Roman calendar was updated by Julius Caesar. I couldn't tell you which one it was, but in 48 BC it was updated because when he was conquering, he went over to Egypt and was trying to conquer land in the Roman Empire. So years 46 to 48 BC, he was over there on boats. But since he still knew what day it was compared to the Egyptian calendar, he come back and revamped the Roman calendar. So what he's done, so based on Julian, he's gone back and went, look, since I knew today's Monday over there, and I can keep track of the days all up here, we're going to revamp this calendar. So he added 67 days to the Roman calendar to make it the Julian calendar, Julian season calendar. So, and in a space of 3 years, so 48, or was it years 46 to 48 BC, the Roman calendar, or the Julian calendar, went from 355 days to 378 days. Then in 48 BC, it was 445 days long.
Shows you how good like their ancient math could be, because they're getting close to what we call the best we can do.
Well, that leads us on. So based off that one, it leads us on to the Gregorian calendar, and that's the one we use today. Did
you do any work this week, bud? Or did you just do this? This was.
But so this is assumed they have, like, I don't know how they've worked it out, but they assume, like, based on their scientific and the tools they used back then, they estimated a year as 365.25 days. So 365 and a quarter days.
Which is, we have leap year every 4 years. Yeah.
Like, this is where it's tricky, right? So they're able to calculate that. So they did the old every 4 years have an extra day, the leap year, as we still do. But their astronomers and scientists figured out the difference of 11 minutes every year, pushed out the calendar 3 days to every 400 years.
Yeah, right.
So today's Sunday. Question. Keep that pondering ready. So they had to revamp it because in the 8th century, St. Bede, a monk, noticed it was a 3-day drift. Yeah, so the calendar was out 3 days. Then 500 years later, an astrologist, Roger Bacon, found the calendar was out by a week. Then in 1300, Dante, another astronomer, called for a calendar reform because it was out shockingly, the calendar.
Yes, it's gotten worse and worse.
Yeah, it got worse and worse. So the reform for the calendar was in 1545. And the church was big or religious then, back in those time. And the church wanted to narrow down, like, rightio, we need to fucking know when Easter is. So we'll redo this calendar thing so we know exactly when Easter is. Yep, no dramas.
But Easter's a celebration of an event. You got to know, when did that event happen?
So they wanted to nail it down so people can book their holidays and make sure they're at the celebration. So from 1545 to 1577, they went through all this reform, and they pretty much just went, look, we don't know how to work it out. So put out a petition, like a post. So like, you used to submit like to Cheese TV, like your drawings and shit.
Yeah.
So the papers pretty much went like this is the way I've interpreted it. So this bloke, I can't pronounce his name, Lilius. So he won a submission to fix the calendar year.
That's great.
So he won it.
Just a dribbler.
Just a dribbler. Just put in his post. Yeah, we'll take that idea. You won. So, like colouring competitions.
Yeah.
That's the way I view it. Old mate just submitted a bit of work and I went, that sounds all right, we'll take it.
That's the best one.
So I'm just going to call him AL because I can't pronounce his name. So he won the proposal, the reform calendar. So what he suggested was cancel the leap years for 40 years. So let catch up for the equinoxes, so the full moons and that are back in cycle.
I don't hate it.
So to align the calendar. Then he also suggested cancelling the leap year every 4 years, then only doing it when it's the year's divisible by 400 or 100. So 1600, you'd whack an extra day. 1200, so it was divisible by 400. So it wasn't so frequent. So then this calendar has been in use since 1582. And the British accepted the calendar in 1752. And the last two countries to sign onto this calendar was Greece and Turkey, Greece accepted this calendar in 1923, and Turkey accepted it in 1926. So pretty much just 100 years ago, they accepted the calendar.
Yeah. Is there any...
So after all my facts here, bro, my big question is can you confidently tell me when the fuck's Easter this year?
Just because I'm a bit of a dumb fuck, I couldn't tell you what Easter is any year. I think it's the first weekend in April, isn't it? It's the first Saturday in April.
Based on the moon. So it changes. It can be March, April, or May.
Well, it's based on one full rotation of the sun, isn't it? Not necessarily the
Yeah.
moon. The moon's your day.
But since we
Or-
accepted this calendar, they've tried to make it pencil it in.
Well, you're also talking
And we have the Olympics now, so we're going back to the 4-year gap year.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So is today really Sunday?
No, probably not, but it's the best we got, isn't it?
So after all that research, I still can't.
I think, yeah, this is the problem, and this is where I don't do these rabbit holes. There's no end, bud. There's no happy ending.
I cannot tell you that my little thought Tuesday, I can't get an answer. And the worst thing about it, like I was talking to Gren about it, and Gren's like, well, it's based off the moon. I get that, Gren. Get that, but how come we can base this moon on a Friday every year?
Oh, yeah, Good Friday. Yeah.
And Easter Monday, how do we base that on a weekend? Like, how can we nail down a calendar but not answer your question?
I think it comes down to the fact that it doesn't fit perfect and you can't make it fit perfect. Oh, it upsets me. Don't get me wrong. It upsets me. And I remember even thinking as a little kid, what really upset me more was the fact that we have, so you're 12 and you're 30, like there's more than 30 days in some months and less than others, but like that's you rough. You're 12 months to 30 days.
Yeah.
You're 360. That's all very imperial. It's not metric. It fits better into feet, yards, inches. And then it annoys me that they haven't worked out a better way to make it fit into your metric measurements. So your tens, your forms of tens. And you think that there has to be a way to do it, but it's also like, so it's actually one of these things, for Sammy being a math teacher, I hear about a few of them, and doing the forms of math I did in school, I heard about a few of them. It's actually like, not really a list, but there's kind of like an unwritten list of these mathematical problems people can't solve. And like people are still working on today.
Like calendar.
Well, pi was one for many millennia.
There you go.
I was head
mentioned it pi. Like, who decided that? How'd you get that number?
I think it was Greek. I think it was, and it's a ratio.
Yeah, imagine just like I just whack this little symbol up, that times that equals that.
But then it's another funny ratio, because then it works back into science and engineering as well. And fuck, we're losing so many people right now. But
I know. So.
It works for sine waves and stuff like that as well. So it's just this magical little ratio that basically just forms curves and circles.
But yeah, well, that's me deep dive for the week, Schlobber.
You ever heard the deGrasse Tyson? Is it Michael deGrasse Tyson? I always go Mike Tyson, the boxer. Yeah. His whole thing of like how smooth the earth is.
Yeah.
So like if the earth was the size of a cue ball, it would be smoother than any cue ball ever made.
There you go.
Yeah, just because like our highest point and our lowest point are only like a feasible amount of kilometers different, but they're also so far apart on Earth, and then the Earth is so wide. Like if you were some cosmic giant and you could touch Earth, it would be like the smoothest thing you've ever touched.
Oh, wow. We're getting real tinfoil hat today, aren't we?
And we didn't have any beers this episode.
Yeah, which is strange.
Probably safest, because we'd be really dribbling.
Really stressing out.
Really dribbling.
Really stressing out. But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Today's Sunday.
Well, if you can make it Saturday again, I'll take it. Like, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. Do you want to go to work tomorrow?
So.
Well, guys, I've got a fucking afternoon of contemplating life and its theories ahead of me. Call that, yep?
Yeah, we'll call that. I like it.
You fucked me over.
Yeah,
make next one's fun again, because that's fuck me.
So I don't know what day we can book in to shoot the next one.
We'll go with our arbitrary weekend, and I'll get it out by the arbitrary Wednesday again.
Yeah, man-made Wednesday.
Thank you, everyone that's been listening and following. And if you got through that, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, it hurt talking about it.
Hope you enjoyed the movie quotes. Like, follow, subscribe as per usual. Love yous.
Yeah, just